Well, hello, Parser people. Happy Tuesday. Happy Text Adventure Tuesday, I guess. We're gonna keep going through the ShuffleComp listings. We've got 5 more games to go, and hopefully we can get through all of them. I really hope so. I can't imagine that there'd be any problems with that, but we'll find out. Oops. Just in case you don't know, all the ShuffleComp are part of a game jam that I participated in, and you can play all the games on itch. You should. They've all been really good. I've really enjoyed them. I do, as always, want to start with saying that every stream, of course, is a charity stream. Please use any way to give to whoever you think is worth your money, worth your time. Definitely support your local charities. If you don't have a local charity, you can always donate to House of Kodak, who creates a safer and more accessible means to housing care and essential services for displaced transition-age youth in my home state of Rhode Island. So you can give through Twitch charity, which does not line the pockets of Jeff Bezos, or you can directly give, which probably is better just for everything. Cool. Why don't we pop on over to the gameplay screen? So this looks, wonderful, but let's pull up the Wheel of Morality. We have 5 games left. They're all, actually, I don't know what they all are. I have checked out a little bit, enough to see what I'm getting into, and that's about it. So why don't we spin? Spin. Tell us the lesson that we shall learn. Moral number 3. 2 spirits at sea. So we can update the game title. We can center the game title. We can center the whole selection maybe a little bit better. 2 Spirits at Sea is by somebody, that's for sure. It's by Bez. B-E-Z. Hi, Nat. Enjoy lurking. We're gonna check out some games. This game is by Bez. One of the things that I've really enjoyed about Bez's games this round has been that they have been doing a lot of voiceover work, and I think that's really cool. I really want to see more of that in interactive fiction in general, in games in general. I think voiceover adds a lot. You can hear in the background the oh my gosh, I can never remember names of games whenever I'm talking about them. That's okay. The Disco Elysium soundtrack right now, and that really kind of made me realize how much voice acting brings to a game. It's more. It just adds a little bit, and it takes care of some of the mental work that you have to do in reading a game. And I will not lie, I appreciate it as a streamer because I don't have to read things out loud. I think it also like controls the speed of a game. So like people are more likely to hear everything. And I think there's different kinds of interaction in reading. If you read something just as reading it, versus reading it out loud versus hearing it, I think those are three different kinds of interaction. And I think that's a really interesting way to approach how a game should be. So I find that all really, really interesting. Because there's voice acting, I am going to turn down the tunes just a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to leave it there and turn it down that way. Cool. So this is Two Spirits at Sea. By Bez, we have 2 stars. We have James Fagan and Ryan Gazer. It was made for ShuffleComp and SeedComp. SeedComp is another interactive fiction game jam. The way that SeedComp works is that people provide seeds, like little bits of ideas, and then go forth from there, and another person picks up those seeds and creates a game based off of those. I kind of participated in SeedComp a few years ago. It was my first game jam, and I ran out of steam. But I don't know. Maybe if there's a B-side to this, depending on how long these games take, we'll see that too. Why not? But yeah, let's get started on this. So of course you can go to all these things from the page, but we're gonna play the game with the voice acting. We have a scene. The ship, Spirit Liner, time unknown. In the afterlife, 2 people, Jaden and Humphrey, are together on a strange ethereal ship. They've been trapped here ever since they died, and the boat doesn't seem to be getting any closer to land. One day, they have the following conversion. Not sure if that should be conversation. When speaking, Jaden is always on the left, Humphrey is always on the right. I think that's... Of course, I haven't seen the game yet, but I do think that's an important thing in dialogue-based games to make it really, really clear. It can really quickly become difficult to tell who's speaking. That kind of typography, I think, is super, super valuable. I don't know. Let's see.
I never thought I'd die like this. I thought I'd die surrounded by loved ones, slowly fading away in a hospital or something. Instead, I die on company time, killed by the very product I was asked to transport.
How do you think I feel? Jesus. I never should have asked to tag along for your stupid trip.
I'm really sorry I got you killed, buddy.
We've been over this. It's not your fault this happened. It's that stupid company, Nortec. This is on them.
Yeah.
Cool. The images here, I think, are really, really cool. I wonder what they're from. So we have 2 people, Jaden and Humphrey, and immediately we know that they are trapped in a capitalist world with Nortec.
I feel stuck, Jaden.
Well, we are stuck on this boat. I mean, we could jump off, but I don't think that would end well for us.
That's not what I mean. I've been thinking about the life I had. whether it was well lived, like they say. Every night I listen to the waves crash against the side of the ship, and I think over every single thing I ever did. It makes me feel stuck.
That's surprising. I've been sleeping like a rock.
Yeah, I know. You snore like a bitch.
So a few little things, because I usually I'm reading, and so I'm focusing a lot more on the actual like text. I do wish there was a little bit more typography here. I appreciate that it's large type.
It was all over in the blink of an eye. And now we're stuck in this weird purgatory. Everything my life was building up to, cut off in an instant. All I really did was transport wares and boxes and barrels for all those big companies. Was that all I really was? A cog in the corporate machine? Was that all my life meant in the end?
Of course not. You meant more than that.
Why not?
Because you meant a lot to me.
Thanks.
This is definitely like, okay, so an instantaneous shadow photographs life size of the splash of a drop of mercury falling 15 centimeters onto glass. We have actual size 4.83 millimeters in diameter. Time is 0 seconds. And from 2, 3, 4, and 4A, we have a mere fraction of a second. I talk to my students about like perception of time, and I always think about this, that like you can feel 0.2 of a second. So like something that is what looks like 0.003 of a second. That's wild to me that they did this sort of rapid fire. I wonder how they got this exactly, because that's well below sort of the comfortable perception of a person. So yeah, shadow photograph. So it must be like constantly taking those photographs.
I feel like you're lying to me, though. I know I shouldn't doubt you, but...
Promise, I'm telling the truth, buddy. I liked hanging out with you when we were alive. I still do, even though we're dead. You've always been there for me, no matter what. And when I needed help, you were the first person I would call. You're the best man I've ever known. Trust me.
This is just a little little bit of fun about CSS transitions, is that some things transition and some things don't. So like you can see the color transitioning here. And I love how that makes kind of like a just based on the color change, because I don't think there's any change in the position or anything, but it makes it look depressed, like you're pressing down on it by flipping these colors. But the underline not transitioning is always going to be kind of like awkward. But having the underline is also good, just in general.
Well, I wouldn't exactly put it like that.
What? You know you're a good man, right?
I know I'm a good person. I'm not sure I'm a good man, though.
What do you mean?
So prepared for cremation. So I'm interested in how these images relate to this plot. I think it's a challenging thing if you're working from like different items to go in and really like dive into the to really have it be directly related, especially if you're not trying to be literal in your usage of imagery and things like that.
I've always had these feelings, Jaden. Like, even though my body is male, my soul is feminine, trapped in a masculine shell. I was holding off telling you because I didn't know how you would react, and I couldn't find the words to say it either, but ever since we died and came here, I've had all of the time in the world to think of how to say it. So I'm saying it now.
Okay. I really love this image to go with it. This sort of like open country of a woman's heart. You have the this is clearly yeah, let me see if I can't zoom in. Nope, can't zoom in more. Let me see if I can't open this image in a new tab and just see what it says. We have the country of eligibleness, the high grounds of matrimonial speculations, mole traps, an important part of any woman's heart, province of deception, a railroad, the distance performed with an incredible speed, the love of admiration, a line of affectation, the lodestone mountains, vanity, lake of self-concern, small city of caprice, town of ladies' privilege, city of Mem, prudence, the land of oblivion, the country of solid worth. This is a deeply interesting image. The love of display, Bella Maison, the old man's darling bay. How wonderful. Okay.
Wow. I never would have expected that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either.
Well, no matter what your gender is, you're still my best friend. It doesn't matter to me, okay?
You sure? I was worried you wouldn't like that we weren't bros anymore.
That doesn't matter as much as your happiness, obviously.
See? You say I'm a good guy, but you're the real good guy in our duo.
Hey, thanks, bud. That means a lot coming from you. I wish I could have saved you. You deserve to be out and alive, not out and dead.
There's nothing you could have done.
I tried to save us. By the time I realized what the substance you were transporting did, though, it was too late. I hope our families sue Nortec and get one hell of a payout.
Chances are the company will find our bodies first and cover it all up.
True. But let me imagine a happy ending. Let me savor this.
Okay. So I'm reading these lines, and by the time I realized what the substance you were transporting did, though, it was too late. So I'm wondering if we're going to get more, if it's going to remain this kind of like impressionistic thing, or if we're going to get more concrete as this goes along. Definitely, you know, I think there's ideas here. I mean, even the idea that there's tort law, so like suing Nortec in order to get a payout, like in the world building here, there's a lot that's defaulted to, and I'm curious if it's defaulting or if it's for like a thematic reason.
What the hell? Do you feel that? What's rocking the boat?
Let me look out the window and see. Oh. Well, shit.
What?
One of the things that I think about with specifically hypertext works that are link-based is what you link to confirm or to signal that you're going to the next page, the next passage. Oh my gosh, there is a specific term for a passage of text in hypertext works, but having this break here, I wonder if there's a way to time this and like the choices of when you time things. So it's like, who are we? So we're a third person, and the reason why I can get sort of deeper on this is because I'm not doing, reading it out loud. We have this opportunity because of the voice acting. So we have a time-based component to this hypertext because of the audio, which again I think is so fascinating and so valuable to have. And so we have this moment of surprise and what's wonder, and we as game designers can like control that. So I'm curious.
I think an octopus has grabbed the boat. Looks like it's trying to pull us under.
Well, shoot. I should have known we couldn't drift around the sea forever.
I guess now we'll find out whether spirits can breathe underwater, right, buddy?
Right. If we end up getting separated, or if this is the end, I love you, man.
I love you too.
So again, we have this cool image, and it's always interesting. So I'm pretty sure that this is like a Western image, but I find it fascinating how Western images are influenced by by Japanese artistry, especially this kind of nautical and like animal drawing. So this is, of course, a giant octopus. And it's interesting how it's floated back and forth between concrete and sort of representational in these images and the relation to the text. The two spirits sunk into the eternal sea and into its depths. Soon they found the bottom, the floor of a starship located in deep space, destined to drift from one vast ocean to another, always just infinitesimal atoms in the gargantuan habitat that is the afterlife, that is their fate for all eternity. So I'm just, interesting. Okay. So this actually gives, directly, sort of as part of the text, what the influences were. So again, we have James Fagan and Ryan Gazer doing, some really, really good voiceover work. And I think it enhances things in a way. I don't know the Mogwai song. I've been checking out the ShuffleComp songs as they've been, as I've been rating them, because there's two ratings for ShuffleComp in general. It's like overall, is this good on a 5-star rating, and then use of the songs. So I'm curious how this plays into how we do things, you know, and how it actually was in the original song, like what influence. And you can, if you're checking these things out, you can definitely like see what's up and see like, oh, okay, that's where they got it from. Like there was a section in one of the pieces that I played last time that was one of my songs, and it was I submitted all totally instrumental music. It was really, really cool to see how the author used that to be part of, like, clearly part of the story. So I think that's rad. So some of the things, I'm not going to click on these, but there were 3 different seeds used. I think that's really cool. Definitely another audio track. Interesting. And then specifically 12 different figures, 12 different images from the public domain archive. Shout out to public domain archive. But different things, cosmic figures, an octopus devours a ship. I think those are pretty clear. An open country of a woman's heart, which I thought was like such an interesting thing, image to use. Then we can restart. Oh, that's cool. That was Two Spirits at Sea. I think it's an interesting little conversation, and that's a lot like Bez's other game in ShuffleComp, was also just a conversation. I wonder what we can do with dialogue-based, hypertext dialogue-based interactive fiction to expand, even if it's going to be totally linear, to expand on that maybe a little bit, and take advantage of things that take advantage of the design affordances that are in hypertext to make stuff. That's really interesting. Cool. Well, that was Two Spirits at Sea. Let's see what's up next for us. We only have 4 games left. If they're all that short, we're gonna have a long B-side. Which, hey, isn't that how B-sides work? You have the nice 3-minute song, and then, you know, your 15-minute jazz instrumental. Freedom's Whirlwind. I have so many tabs open all the time. Freedom's Whirlwind. All right. By Liebervor 42. Cool. Oh, can we fit that all on one line? We can. Okay, good. Liebervor 42. So this is a really clearly a Twine game. We have that nice 2-column layout. I'm gonna assume that we don't need to worry about saves or anything like that, but we'll just toggle that away. I'm gonna zoom in a bit too, just to make it a little bit bigger. So we've got like kind of traditional traditional twine where we have some text and some choices at the bottom. There's a song in your bones. It sings of love or revolution. Let's say revolution. Your song is a fire, burning through your pen, bleeding through your ink. Your song is a pyre. Do not add your name, they will burn you with your song. So this is, obviously, like, more poetic. So I think it's a really cool, like, juxtaposition. And I'm curious how the choices, like, read as a single poem, as opposed to being separated like this. So, like, I want to live obscure, and I would die for my fire. That's two very different, like, feels to even the scansion of the lines. They will burn you with your song. I want to live obscure. Your conquerors are brutal. You may not live to hear your song. They will shatter you the way that they have shattered so much before. The pieces of your country's bones pierce your feet whenever you pass. The song will inspire alone. There's courage in living to write again. Intent is all. And live on and begin another. Let's begin another. The country sings. It sings. We have love is smaller, and let's reinforce revolution. Surely, this time, they must catch you. This time, I will burn. Your conquerors sit upon your country's chest, feeding, growing fat on her blood, her bones, her milk. Her children lie starving. It cannot stand. It cannot stand. You will pledge your name and die for it, for people must see more than the words. They must know a living heart had courage to bleed them. They must see you burn to light the way. Intent is all. You will scream until they take your tongue. You will write until they take your hands. You will not live to see if you bought freedom. But when they take your head, you will bleed more revolution, breed more revolution. 10 more, and then a dozen. Until flooded, they cannot stand. There is no peace for the conquered. There is only the fire or freedom. Interesting. So I really wish that my co-host was here, because she knows a lot more about poetry than I do. I want to play this again, and I don't always replay games, but this one's really, really short, and I think is meant to play around with it a little bit. So let's restart. I am sure that I want to restart. So there is a song in your bones. It sings of love. There can be no love without freedom. There will never be freedom. Find joy in love. Love is beautiful. Let the people dream. Let them smile while they can. Love is fleeting. Soldiers may take your love from you in 1,000 ways. By a bullet, by conscription, by their overreaching lust. Grasping. There's nothing else to look towards but dreams. Dream of how beautiful love is before the living kills you, before the loving kills you. There is not freedom, but there could be a day of love. Okay, let's do one more. Let's go that path. There can be no love but freedom. Your song is a fire, burning you through your pen, bleeding you through your ink. Oh, so we're back to the same thing. Your song is a pyre. Do not add your name. They will burn you with your song. I would die for my fire. So we're back to intent is all. Let's keep... Okay, so let's go revolution. Want to live obscure. Live on. You write with caution. More than you write, you live. You hear the song, furtive and small, on street corners, in hushed houses, yet they sing, they sing, they sing. One day you turn on the radio and hear. This is not your gentle accent. This is the sound of the sword and the boot. They sing it without your country's name. They sing it as if it was theirs. Gory glory to the conquerors. They've taken the song, ripped out its heart, and claimed it for themselves. It can never be yours again. You weep, weep, weep. You can keep clicking it, and it gets darker and darker. It cannot stand. It cannot stand. You cannot stand. You fall. Slowly. There is nothing left. They have won again. Nothing can ever be yours. Interesting. So I think there's a lot of little things. I would love to have seen more of this at the end, where it controlled how you read it and how you interact with the text. I think there's a lot of power in creating. I think there's a lot of power in how someone, again, uses the affordances of hypertext in writing. And I talk about these affordances as if they're all totally clear. But like the idea that someone is experiencing it instead of just like turning a page. You know, we have all of the control that comes with like a browser experience. And I think it's important to note that these are browser experiences. All the games, I think, that are left are played in the browser. And I think that's a deeply different experience, no matter how you're building that, from a parser, from even a click-based hypertext or a button-based hypertext in another system. I think there's a lot of like things that we can talk about and do here that maybe we could do other ways. So that was really interesting. And I think more poetic hypertext is interesting. Because especially when we're like when we're streaming, it's a lot more personal than maybe performative. And going back to those affordances, like some of these things are harder to perform in some sense than experience. That's cool. I'm curious what songs they used to see like what actually was there. Great. We have 3 songs. let's keep going. Or I'm so well, probably more than 3 songs. We have 3 games. So we have a little guidance for a big heart. And I remember this one because it is the 3rd of Bez's games in the in ShuffleComp. And I think it's cool. So a lot of people, like I said, one of the games that I played was 2.5 hours in playing it, and I think that's something that I find challenging. Okay. I think that's something that's challenging. You know, whether you do something that is so we'll have to move some stuff around here. But I think it's an interesting question, like, especially when you're doing a game jam, but also just in general, making shorter or longer games. What's appropriate? What's like, what do you want to do in a longer or shorter experience? So again, yep. So we have 3 voice actors: Jesse Castro, Ulysses Amadeus, and Hattie VA. There's a cover by Vicky. And definitely, like, I thought about this a lot in the game that I was playing, because I will say admittedly, I'm not an artist. I'm trying to learn, but it's a lot to learn. And like, I wonder in the same way that, like, how does voice acting help the hypertext experience? Having art, of course, like, is so important to certain like interactive fiction media, like visual novels. You know, absolutely not 100%, but definitely relies on the art to do a lot. I think so I play a lot of Mahjong on Mahjong Soul, less than I should if I want to get better, but I think there, like, the art is really, really important to what narrative is there. And I think it's one of those things that you can check out and see, okay, if this art wasn't here, how would this game actually feel? So I'm interested in how that plays out here. So what do we have? So when again, because there's voice acting, I'm gonna crank down the audio, turn it up on my end, and click on the blue text to advance the story, and the yellow links that appear at the end of the text to go to the next page. Interesting. Blue text to advance the story, yellow links to go to the next page. I'm curious what that means. And I think there's a lot you can do in smaller games that you can't do in bigger ones. You know, every single... So, like, if you're playing a small, like, 15-minute game, every single element doesn't need to. Need is a bad word. Every single element has the opportunity to be meaningful. So I'm always curious with, like, even this idea of a difference between advancing the story and going to the next page. So let's start. Normally, I wasn't the type to go to a music club because I had no idea how to flirt with people. Yes. Do we want to move forward? Oh, okay. Click the text. Okay, click the blue text to advance the story. Got it. Okay. Click the blue text to advance the story. Click the yellow text to go to the next page. I got it. So there isn't that... So I talk about design affordances. Like, one of the things is having a hover state and things like that. There's also changing the cursor, which I know y'all can't see because I move my cursor constantly and it's really distracting. But the cursor is just a text cursor on the blue text. But this time I had my little 5-inch friend Gabe in my front pocket. We have this size. Interesting. Okay, wait a minute. So I had my little 5-inch friend, and advancing to the next page is the hover state on it is size based. It does make kind of awkward transitions and things like that. If you can get in between the lines as I do that, but okay. So normally I wasn't the type to go to a music club because I had no idea how to flirt with people. But this time I had my little 5-inch friend Gabe in my front pocket.
I'm not sure about this,
I muttered. Knowing Gabe could hear me through the AirPod in my right ear, Gabe had the left AirPod with him in my pocket, and that was how we would communicate throughout the night.
Relax,
Gabe said, his voice loud and clear in my right ear. I'm going to crank this music a little bit. There's a little bit more discussion here.
nobody's gonna know I'm here, remember? A tiny guy in your pocket? Nah, no one's gonna think that's happening. People will just think you're talking to someone on your phone.
I mean, yeah, I'm worried about that, but I'm also worried I can't do this.
I told my friend.
What if I'm not ready to go out and meet people? What if it's too soon after leaving M?
Hey, don't worry.
Gabe told me in a gentle
We talked
voice.
about doing this because you thought it was the right time, remember? And with me as your wingman, you're going to be great.
So what if I click on... Okay, so any blue text will move it forward. I took a deep breath and gathered my courage.
Alright, let's do this.
I stepped inside the club and smiled in relief as the sound of music washed over my ears. It wasn't too loud, thank goodness. I'd been worried about that. People were scattered around, drinking and dancing as the band did their thing. There was more of a crowd than I had been expecting. Nervous, I went up to the bar and asked for a cup of water. They gave me one. And I anxiously sipped it as I scanned the room. So one thing that I do notice here is that it's centered text, and if you add text to a paragraph, it does move where you start. That could be intentional, this discomfort with the situation. Oh, there is music here. Hang on. Cool. I think it's a challenge to figure out how to set up music Boy, can I tell you what a challenge it is to figure out the right levels. But it is something that well, we'll see what happens. They gave me one, and I anxiously sipped it as I scanned
See
it.
anyone cute?
Gabe asked me for my pocket.
If not, that blonde across the room looks pretty sexy.
It sure does,
Gabe!
I hissed, resisting the urge to look down and draw more attention to my
Get
friend.
back in my pocket. I don't want anyone to see you.
Sorry, but seriously, go talk to that blonde guy. He's totally your type, you. He's at one of the booths wearing a white hoodie with jazz cup colors on it.
Absolutely somebody's type. So one of the things that I think is always interesting is like how you again this like creation of the world inside the game, and like we play so many different kinds of games, I feel, and like so many different I don't know, you play, you take sort of like a blank slate approach to games, and it's like I find it funny when it's like, oh well, that has like the jazz cup colors on it, which also might reference some other things. I looked around and spotted the person that Gabe had been talking about. He was definitely aesthetically attractive. I loved his long blonde hair and his stud earrings, but was he my type? What was a type anyway?
Don't just stand there.
Gabe explained, yanking me out of my own head. So with this, because there's so much first-person narration, I wonder if that would have been valuable to have voice acted.
Go over there, you.
I swallowed hard, gave the bartender the cup back, and forced my legs to move. Fancy bar. Giving you water in a glass. One step, then another, then another. Across the floor, until finally I was standing in front of the blonde guy. He looked over at me and a smile came on his face.
Oh, hey there.
He said in a tone I recognized as flirtatious.
I don't think I know you, but I'd like to. What's your name?
Everything in my body was screaming at me to run. Something in me didn't like this. I knew why. But trying to deny it, I smiled back at the guy and said,
I'm Eugene. You?
Harker.
Harker and Eugene. So Harker, he replied, holding out his hand. So this, like, I'm really interested in the choices here on, like, where to break these sentences and paragraphs. That's really cool to me. I shook it. He added,
He, him. And I see you use they, them pronouns. Are you non-binary?
Close. I'm agender.
Oh, cool.
okay. Oh. So, close, I replied with a laugh. And Harker exclaimed, his eyes lighting up.
One of my online friends is agender too. That's neat.
Online friends are real friends. There was a moment of silence, which was a problem. I certainly didn't know what to say. Luckily, Gabe didn't miss a beat, and he said into the AirPod,
Ask him if he knows the band.
follows Gabe's advice, just wing it. Just wing it. I opened my mouth to try and say something, but suddenly my mind was blank. Thankfully, Harker filled the silence with a question.
Do you come to this place often?
This font is super cute,
Oh, not at all.
I replied with a laugh.
I only came because a friend wanted me to. And because Kitty Whiskers are playing tonight.
Oh, is that who the band is?
Harker asked, his eyes lighting up.
That's a cool name. They've been doing a really great job so far.
He thought for a moment and then
So where's your
asked,
friend? The one who wanted you to come?
Shit. Scrambling to come up with an excuse, I quickly said,
He couldn't come tonight after all. But, I decided to come down anyway, because why not, right?
Harker laughed.
Oh yeah, it's the same for me.
He told me.
I was supposed to meet some friends here, but they bailed.
He gave me a smile.
I'm glad I ran into you though.
Ooh, you hear that?
Gabe exclaimed, sounding excited.
He's into you.
The Kitty Whiskers switched things up to a slower song, and I laughed.
Oh, they're playing Melody to Remember Me by.
I said to Harker,
I remember the lead singer saying that at their concerts, this is the song most people smooch to.
Guess. I'd meant to share a fun fact, but as soon as the words left my mouth, I knew I fucked up. Harker smiled and asked,
Are you saying you want to smooch me?
Yes!
I heard Gabe hiss.
Do it, do it!
Everything in me was screaming not to. But I'd been ignoring that feeling so far. I could just continue to do so, right? Do not kiss him. Do not kiss him.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to imply that... I don't want to... I mean...
I felt tears filling my eyes and I backed away.
I have to go.
I quickly made my way to the front door and exited the club.
Hey, where are you going?
Gabe exclaimed.
You were doing so well. What happened?
I went into my car and locked the door, feeling on the brink of tears. Gabe poked his head out of my pocket looking angry, but his expression changed when he saw my face.
Hey, you, talk to me.
He said. He crawled out of my pocket and sat on my calf, cross-legged.
You okay?
I knew this was a bad idea.
I sniffled.
I shouldn't have come here.
Don't love that break.
Why not? You were doing great.
Gabe encouraged me.
I bet you anything that Harker would have totally gone home to fuck you tonight if you hadn't bailed.
Getting that soft R. We're at PG-13. That's fine.
I know he was into me, but...
I sighed, then groaned.
I thought that's what I wanted. But when it started to become real, I just couldn't take it, Gabe.
But why not?
My friend asked, sounding baffled.
For a lot of reasons. But part of it is that it feels too soon to be dating someone after M.
I replied.
I know you want me to just move on, but it's hard. It's really hard, dude.
I see.
Gabe said. He sighed.
Maybe I was rushing you into meeting someone new.
He admitted.
I don't know. Even though M just made you so miserable in the end, you two were really happy in the beginning. I wanted to see you happy like that again, I guess.
Dummy.
I smiled and reached down, ruffling Gabe's hair with one finger.
I don't need a romantic relationship to be happy. Our friendship makes me happy enough. You know that, right?
Gabe looked surprised.
Really?
Yeah. You've always been here for me, especially since the breakup. That means so much to me.
I hesitated, unsure as to whether I should confess. Finally, I said,
There's something important I should tell you, Gabe.
Okay, what's up?
After I broke up with them, well, I focused a lot on self-discovery. I asked myself why I had stayed with M even when things got bad, even when the red flags were waving in my face. Even after you told me time and time again that she was bad for me, I realized that I felt like I needed to find fulfillment and meaning in a romantic relationship. and that I've really felt pressured by so many things. Society and my parents mainly, to find love. But deep down, I don't think I need romantic love to be happy. I've never experienced sexual attraction, and the best relationships I've had in my life have been the ones with my friends.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. There's a word for that. I looked into Gabe's tiny eyes and swallowed hard, feeling nervous.
Gabe, I think I might be Arrow Ace.
It felt so weird to finally say out loud. I continued.
And I didn't want to believe that. That's why I let you talk me into this, because I thought that maybe it wasn't true, that I'm not broken, I guess.
Yep, we're still doing ShuffleComp. Just give shout outs to everybody. We're doing A Little Guidance for Big Heart by Bez.
But if anything, it just confirmed that I am.
Gabe nodded, taking this all in.
Arrow Ace, that's asexual and aromantic, right?
He asked. I nodded and turned away, feeling ashamed.
Hey, look at me.
He said, gently but firmly. I sighed and turned back towards him.
I know what you're going to say.
I muttered. Gabe folded his arms and raised an eyebrow.
Oh, really? What am I going to say?
I felt myself sinking into the dark corners of
Mad
my
at me
mind.
for wasting your time tonight, no doubt.
I mumbled.
And for hiding my identity from you.
What? No way!
Gabe exclaimed. He stood up, looking incredulous, and demanded,
Get your hand down here and lift me up so we're eye to eye.
it's spoken as a true 5-inch tall person. Actually, I would have said 5 inches. Where are all my rulers that I used to use to hold my phone on my monitor as a camera? Anyway, I obeyed, putting my open palm in front of him. He stepped onto it, and I lifted him up to my face. Gabe looked at me in the eyes and said,
Look, you. I've known you since we were, 8 years old? So you can trust me when I say you're not an easy person to get mad at.
He sighed and continued.
I'm sorry for pressuring you to move on. I really wanted to see you with someone again, but maybe I was wrong for thinking you need that in your life. I'm sure I made you think you couldn't tell me about your identity.
He walked forward and gently hugged my cheek.
I'm not mad at you, okay? If anything, I'm glad you know more about yourself. I care about you a lot, you. I want to see you happy. If that means you're not dating anyone, then hey, that's cool with me.
I sniffled, tears running down my cheeks. I hugged Gabe back, wrapping my other hand around him.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
We parted, and I lowered my hand onto the other car seat. As Gabe stepped off, he smiled and said,
Now, what do you say we go home and...
The sound of someone rapping on my window interrupted me, and I turned around, startled. Harker was standing there, and he waved at me with a shy smile. Trusting that Gabe had found somewhere to hide, I rolled down my window and said,
Hey. What's up?
I was trying to find you. You kind of rushed out earlier, and you look kind of off. I was worried.
Harker explained. A sympathetic expression came onto his face, and
Were
he
you
remarked,
crying? Are you okay? I hope I didn't do something wrong.
No, not at all.
I exclaimed.
You didn't... I mean, it's not you, it's... it's hard to explain.
I do have to say, there's a lot of
Take your
dialogue
time.
tags. It's hard to write dialogue-focused prose.
I can listen.
Try to explain, tell him, no, explain. Like, I would have loved instead of intent here, I would have loved the actual dialogue lines. And that's always like a question to me, especially in dialogue focused hypertext. Like, do you do like the first line of what you're trying to say? Do you do your intent? Do you do some secret third option? I don't think there's any one right answer broadly, but I do think it's something to think about deeply. I think using the actual dialogue is something that you can like really push for a emotional response, and especially when you have somebody who main character who's nervous and uncomfortable, I think it can really play into, as someone who constantly overthinks the things that they say, which streaming not great for someone like that. But like as that kind of person, it's like that moment of maybe I'm giving off the wrong thing, but then you also have to like build in off ramps to be like, no, that actually is the wrong thing based on what I wanted to say. So anyway, try to explain. I sighed, trying to find the right words. When they came, I looked into Harker's eyes. I had to tell him the truth.
Look, I think I might be Arrow Ace,
I admitted.
and I tried to deny that, but I can't ignore it anymore.
Oh,
Oh. Interesting font there. Harker looked surprised. I don't know. My first thought was that it was italicized, just that first letter, but now I'm looking at it, it might just be the font. I turned away, feeling ashamed and embarrassed.
I'm sorry if I led you on.
no. It's okay. I mean, I get it.
Harker replied. Surprised, I looked back at him, and he gave me a sympathetic smile.
I have some Arrow Ace friends, and they've told me that finding out you're Arrow Ace can be a bit awkward. Sorry I got caught in the crossfire, though.
No, you have nothing to be sorry for.
I said. I hesitated, and then added,
Look, I can't give you a romantic relationship, but maybe the two of us, we can be friends.
Harker shrugged.
Sure, why not?
I pulled out my phone and the two of us swapped
I'll
numbers.
text you.
Harker told me. He waved.
Talk to you soon.
He will not text you. I smiled and waved back, relieved and happy. I turned the window back up and started my car. Manual windows in the year of our Lord 2025. Bless your heart. Then I drove away. I glanced over at the passenger side and I saw Gabe coming out from hiding behind the seatbelt buckle.
You okay?
I asked.
Yeah,
Gabe replied.
I don't think he saw me. That's a relief. Whew. And I'm glad he was nice about things too.
Yeah.
I agreed. I felt relieved, like a weight had been lifted off me. Smiling, I asked Gabe,
Want to play Smash Bros when we get to my place?
Oh, come on. You know I'm bad with how big the controller is.
Gabe whined.
I'm totally gonna lose.
I laughed.
That's what makes it fun though, right?
The two of us continued to go back and forth as the drive went on. I couldn't be happier to be spending this time with my best friend. The end. So this one had a full playlist. That's pretty cool. Music and sound effects credits. Just again, the voice actors are Jesse Castro, Ulysses, Amadeus, and Hattie VA. Yeah, let's look at the credits. So I have a couple of things here. Creative Commons. Knocking. Cool. So again, I'm like, this has really gotten me thinking. Bez's 3 games have gotten me thinking about the use of voiceover in interactive fiction. And it's funny that I haven't thought about this before, given that I literally read out interactive fiction when I stream. Like that's like literally what I do. Which I find just so interesting. And the difference between reading out interactive fiction, reading out fiction, and reading it silently, the differences in how you play because of that, and like maybe even the differences in how you have to write for something read out versus just read. And I think these are 3 different things. I think about for like for just regular prose, even the standard advice of like, oh, you should read out your stuff before you're done, you know, and see how it flows, how it feels, just like saying it out loud. I definitely was expecting a lot more out of the size thing. Maybe that's just me and my own interest in like playing with different characters. And I think we have like, when you create a character, like even a 3-inch difference can be a massive personality change and things like that. So I don't know. This was really cute though. We have more games. We do. Did I close the window? Maybe. No. We have the Wheel of Morality right here. So we have 2 games left. We have Bedrock and Welcome to My Treehouse. So let's see which one do we get up first. All right, 50-50 shot, and Welcome to My Treehouse. What happens when there's only one left? Okay, cool. We just have one left. We're gonna do Welcome to My Treehouse. Who dat by? D. Sherwood. I want to make sure that it's correct name. Do. Okay. Yeah. Deborah Sherwood. Cool. Welcome to My Treehouse. Which, an incredible name, I think. I am running out of places to put some text. That's fine. Boop. Letting. Who's ever heard of letting? Alright, let's turn off the Wheel of Morality. And double check spelling. Cool. So we have Welcome to My Treehouse. And like, we can see a lot here. Checking my audio levels. So we've got a picture of the treehouse in the sidebar. We have our standard saves and restart underneath. I'm gonna drop the sidebar and increase our font size just a little bit, just to make it easier to read. So welcome to my treehouse. The beginning. You relocated to a new city a few weeks ago. You've settled in, but have had a hard time meeting people outside of work. Christmas was quiet, and New Year's was even quieter. Then last week, while having breakfast at a local diner, you couldn't help but overhear the conversation at the table behind you. The group was discussing their favorite psychological thrillers. No one had mentioned your favorite yet, so you decided to chime in. But what about Fatal Attraction? It's an enduring classic in popular culture, you said over your shoulder. The group paused, exchanged glances, and then looked back at you. You can sit with us, one of them said, and scooted over, making room for you. Your stomach flipped with anxiety, but you took a deep breath and slid into the booth. So, a general thing, especially about enthusiast created interactive fiction. Boy, we are just a collection of just anxiety-ridden people, aren't we? We're just... I get it, for real. But it would be nice to see more characters that are like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just sit with you, sure. And slid into their booth. They quickly added you to their group chat, spent the rest of breakfast making you feel welcomed. You didn't take the time to add in all their contact information to your phone, so you only know them by their area codes, which, oddly enough, are all from different regions. Before you parted ways, they invited you to game night. The work week seemed to be dragging by, but game night is finally here. You receive a message from the 919 area code person. It reads, game night. Take SR 58, State Route 58 East to Black Swamp, turn left at stop, then follow dirt road into forest all the way to end. See you soon. You follow the directions through the forest and have just arrived at the base of a very large tree. Inset in the base of the trunk, you find a door. There's a thick rope dangling from a high branch and a set of boards nailed to the tree, making a ladder. I just want to check. Nope, okay. Treehouse, same. Sometimes I always feel bad with sidebars because I tend to close them when I'm playing, and then, sometimes you miss stuff. We have three things. We have a door, a rope, and a ladder. We have a door. A sign over the doorway reads, "Do not enter." You don't see a way to open it anyway. There's a thick rope dangling from a high branch to the right of the door. Left of the door, a set of boards are nailed to the tree, making a ladder. Oh, we take the rope. We have trauma from PE class. We take the rope. Looking up, you see the rope goes up through an opening in the middle of a ledge, about 30 feet, 9 meters, up. The end of the rope is about 15 feet, 4.5 meters, above you. You can jump to reach it, or go back to the door. Jump! With your best effort, you can't jump high enough to reach the end of the rope. You can try again, or go back to the door. We try again. We're going to beat our demons. Running towards the tree, you jump as high as you can and land a foot on the tree and then thrust up, just grabbing the end of the rope. You pull yourself up and through the opening in the ledge. The wooden ledge juts out from the treehouse. A tapestry hangs over a doorway. A rope is dangling down through an opening in the ledge. You can climb down the rope. Yeah, we're gonna climb down the rope. You slip through the opening in the ledge and shimmy down to the end of the rope. Looking down, you estimate a 15-foot, 4.5 meter drop to the ground. You could drop down or climb back up the rope to the ledge. Part of me wants... Can I do stupid things? Can we have a game where I can do stupid things? All these games are so serious. You're serious and there's lots of kissing. Drop down. Let go of the rope and drop to down, breaking both your legs. You let go of the rope and drop to the ground, breaking both legs and some parts of your back and neck. It will be hours before someone comes looking for you. Bless. Thank you. Credits done. 5 stars. Welcome to My Treehouse by Deborah Sherwood. An interactive fiction written for ShuffleComp 2024. Based on the song Treehouse by Alex G. featuring Emily Yasina. The song is submitted by A. Vieroyal. Special thanks to Amanda Walker for permission to include references and excerpts from her game and admire. Thanks to game testers Amanda Walker and Andrew T. Okay, I guess, yeah, 15-foot drop. Okay, so wait a minute. Yeah, all right. I'm here. Thank you. I needed that. Let's get back to the tree and rope, jump, try again, ledge, climb down, climb back up. You climb back to the rope to the ledge. So okay. Finally, something with a sense of humor. Climb down the rope. Climb back up the rope. Okay. I think climbing down and up. I was kind of hoping that somebody would be like, what are you doing? Tapestry hangs over a doorway. Pulling inside the tapestry, you enter the treehouse. A member of the group is here smiling. You're trying to remember their name. Oh no. Real life horror. Alex, Jamie, Jordan, Micah, Morgan, Sam, Taylor. Sam is a good call. Sam, right? Welcome, they say with a smile. Oh my gosh. I'm like terrified that I need notes now. I couldn't open the door, so I improvised. You explain. You did good. The sign is a deterrent, they admit. I just want everybody to go away, but you can stay, they say in a matter-of-fact tone. You take a step back, wondering why they're talking so loud. What can I get you? Beer, wine, water, soda? I have the cheap sodas, but good wine and light beers. Heck yeah. Let's have a beer. I'll take a beer, thanks. You say louder than normal as you've decided they must be hard of hearing. They disappear behind a tapestry, so you take a look around. I'm writing down that I've chosen their name to be Sam. 6 tapestries hang on the walls, forming a hexagon-shaped room. The wooden floor is adorned with a kaleidoscope of antique rugs. Tiny lights are strung about, infusing the space with warmth and wonder. Some lo-fi music is playing softly in the background. A low table is centered in the room with pillows around it. Sam emerges from behind a tapestry and hands you your beer. Let's sit, they say, crouching down to sit, their legs crisscrossing like a scissor lift. You carefully balance your beer as you ease yourself down onto a pillow. I guess I'm the first one here? You remark, taking a sip. No one else is coming, Sam replies. Your eyebrows arch up in surprise. What? I thought the whole group would be here. Not tonight. It happens. We can reschedule, or so what are we playing? Yeah, I'm here. What are we playing? So what are we playing? You asked. I'm the captain, but you can be the deputy, Sam says, pulling a laptop out from under the table. What game is that? You laugh timidly, feeling anxious about being alone with a new person. You'll see. Sam nods, staying focused on the laptop. It's a big and bulky laptop. You peek over and see that they're logged into itch. I don't think I'm ever gonna let you leave, Sam hums.
What? You laugh, trying to play it off. I'm really glad you think I'm so funny. They glance down at you briefly, then look at the screen. You nervously gulp down your beer and start looking for the exit. The hexagon-shaped room has tapestries on every wall. You're sitting next to Sam at a low table with pillows for seats. Tapestries? The tapestries are all beautiful. Mind if I take a closer look, you ask? Look all you want, but stay seated. We're about to get started, Sam instructs. So there's, wow. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 6 tapestries. I can talk to Sam. We can go back to the main room. Start lawnmowing. Mandala tapestry. The mandala pattern is one of your favorites. You admire the pattern from your pillow. Trapped next to Sam. The black and white one features black elephants parading in a circular pattern on a white background. You admire the pattern from your pillow. Trapped next to Sam. The tapestry is mostly purple with paisley patterns printed all over it. You admire the pattern from your pillow. Trapped next to Sam. The season's tapestry features 2 scenes stitched together as one. One side is a lush hillside of tall green grass. The other side has brown leaves on the ground and a hazy wintry sky. You admire the pattern from your pillow. Trapped next to Sam. The blue tapestry is a beautiful tapestry. It's a swirling pattern of different shades of blue. You admire the pattern from your pillow. Trapped next to Sam. The sunburst tapestry is a bright yellow sunburst, offering you a glimmer of hope. You admire the pattern from your pillow. Trapped next to Sam. I guess talk to Sam? Concerned that you'll never leave the treehouse again, you try to talk to Sam. I need to make a phone call. I need to use the bathroom. I should really be going now. I know a few games. Let's try bathroom. I need to use the bathroom, you state with a hint of urgency. There isn't one! Sam snorts and continues to type. I know a few games. Okay. I know a few games that I think you'll like, you say confidently. Sam stops typing and looks at you. What are they? They ask, intrigued. May I? You ask, gesturing to the laptop. Sam nods and slides the laptop over to you. In the search box, you type in AN and hit enter. A partial list of games pops up in no particular order. So, I have a feeling that at least one of these games, well, it says in the in the credits that we found, it says that an admirer is an existing game. Anchorhead, I know, is an existing game and an extremely long one. So I assume the other two are as well. Let's start with Anchorhead. Anchorhead by Michael Gentry, you suggest to Sam. Too hard. They sigh, shaking their fists at the laptop. Yeah, I dig. And A Hippo New Year by Adri, Aaron Giggle Creek. It has 3.5 stars from 12 ratings. The holidays are over. No, they say, shaking their head. An Evening with the Evil Chicken of Doom by Mel S., you say, smiling. I've played that one, Sam says excitedly, but no. An Admirer by Amanda Walker, you offer. It's a conversational piece, you add. Huh, sounds interesting, Sam says, nodding. Let's play that one. Great, you say, relieved. You load up the game, then slide the laptop back to Sam. They adjust their position on the pillow, then tap out a command. You watch as Sam types out a message, then carefully reads the output. Hi! They respond to the laptop, then lean closer to the screen. Talk about our love? Sam repeats with surprise. Wait, hate? What do you mean by hate? They ask, scrunching their face. You start to slide off the pillow, inching away from Sam. Yes, love. Let's talk about that. They clap their hands together. Cool game, huh? You ask, but Sam is enchanted by the game and doesn't respond. So, like, interactive fiction tends to do this sometimes. I think Amanda Walker is like an incredible game author. I've played a few of her games, and they're all very good. I don't know this game. I only know Anchorhead by its reputation, which is very, very good. Even referencing it, I don't know how I feel. Like, I don't know this game. But on the other hand, I don't know most of the songs on these lists. I'm like listening to them for the first time. And like, you don't need to know the songs to play the games. So maybe it's kind of like that. With Sam preoccupied with an admirer, you're free to explore the table and tapestries. The pillows are just for sitting on. Start with the table. The low table is oblong and made of blonde wood. There's a stack of coasters and a small basket in the center. Peeking into the basket, you find a few marbles. Marbles. I haven't played with these in ages, you say, picking up a marble. Sam nods in agreement and continues to tap on the laptop. The room is yours to explore. Yes, more talk about love, Sam coos. Let's take it to the next stage, Sam exclaims. So I'm betting we can look at this more closely? You pull aside the tapestry and reveal a doorway leading to a platform. I don't pretend. The black and white tapestry features black elephants. You pull it away to reveal a tiny kitchen. Some shallow steps leading up. Hoo! You sound like an owl, you hear Sam laughing. There's a lock in the center where the two tapestries meet for the season's tapestry. Let's take a look at that lock. Oh, we got a puzzle! Okay. The lock has 2 rings with numbers on them. The outer ring has the numbers 102 in that order, with 0 in the center. The inner ring has 07 embossed on it. An arrow is currently pointing to 0 on both numbered rings. So it's really 102 and 0 and 7. The inner ring can only spin counterclockwise. But that just switches the numbers. The outer ring can spin anyway. Okay. Interesting. My soul has a scent? Sam shouts louder than usual. Wait. So it's really 0, 1, 2. 0, 7. I keep drawing this and I'm like not totally grokking it yet. There we go. So really it's just 2 numbers that we had to find. Okay, blue. There's a window, and that's in the season's tapestry. The lock. And then sunburst tapestry leads to a ledge. Okay. That's not stupid. So mandala, doorway leading to a platform. Let's go to the platform. The platform provides a fantastic view of the forest. The hatch is closed. There's a twig wedged in between an edge of the hatch and the floor. You can return to the main room or check out the tapestries. I'm going to check out this twig that's standing straight up. You can take it or leave it. You can return to the main room. I'm going to take that twig. You yank the twig from the seam. The edge of the hatch pops up slightly, then drops back down.
closing flush. You can return to the main room. The hardwood twig is about the length of your hand and smooth to the touch. There's a slight bend in the middle. Okay. With Sam preoccupied... Okay, all this. You can have what I have. Take it all, Sam says, smiling. Having fun, Sam? You ask. Yes, this is fun, Sam says, nodding. Let's go back to the tapestries. Kitchen time. Kitchen has a sink, a shelf of various glassware, and a work surface. A small fridge hums in the corner. The fridge is made for beverages with a see-through door and is lighted within. It contains a variety of beers, sodas, and a few bottles of water. A couple bottles of wine lay flat upon the top shelf. A small notepad is stuck to the door with a magnet. Notepad is small, well-used flip-top pad of paper. The top sheet has today's date on the top. Tonight's celestial show. The waxing gibbous moon will line up with Jupiter, Capella, and Aldebaran. The Pleiades star cluster will also be nearby. Venus shines brightest as the evening star. How can love be hate? That's just not right. Okay. So we have some steps leading up. Following the shallow steps up, you climb into a small area with stacks of shelves. The shelves form two walls that converge at an angle, making an odd-shaped room. The shelves are brimming with books. There's an open box on the floor. So, taking a look at the books, you tilt your head to read the spines, scanning as many titles as possible before your neck starts to ache. Most of the books appear to be quite old. A couple pique your interest. Huts and Hideaways by David R. Stiles, How to Open Doors by... How to Avoid Large Ships, How to Open Doors by G. Clark, and A Peculiar Combination by Ashley Weaver. So I don't love that a lot of this is just like lawnmowering just to get through like each of these options. I kind of hope that one of these isn't what we need. Like, takes away some options. Because we obviously have a puzzle with the seasons lock. We have 1, 0, 2, and 0 and 7. So I'm like looking for, and we have notes to something with the notepad on the fridge door. So this is the first this is the first puzzle game in a while. Feels nice. Huts and Hideaways. You scan the back cover. Excerpt. If you've ever dreamed of having a private hideaway, a treehouse, a hut in the woods, a teepee to crawl into, here's the book that will delight, inspire, and perhaps help make that dream come true. How to Open Doors. This book seems to be a self-help guide to opening doors to a better career. And A Peculiar Combination. This book is one of the newer ones on the shelf and is a history of locks and keys. Okay. The earliest known... That's a nice little bit of misdirection with the titles. The earliest known door lock was discovered during an archaeological excavation at the Palace of Khorsabad, which was constructed in ancient Assyria, which is now northern Iran. Dated to around 4000 BC, the lock had wooden pins of various lengths built into a bolt that kept the door from opening. A lever-like key was inserted that would lift the pins out of the way, allowing the bolt to be withdrawn and freeing the door. You immediately think of the twig. Okay. Well, I'm glad I grabbed the twig.
So we now have three. We now have 3 locks. All right, there's an open box on the floor. It's full of old vinyl albums. Oh, hey, these might be songs, maybe. The collection is from the 60s and 70s. You flip through the sleeves, glancing over the covers. A few catch your eye. The Doors. Hello? I'm not like zoomed. Oh, I am zoomed in. So we have the doors, break on through to the other side, Soul Kitchen, Crystal Ship. So it's a fantastic album that brings back memories of your youth. If a player was here, you'd listen to it right now. Interesting. All right, what about Tapestry by Carole King? Some of your favorite songs are on this album. You scan through the songs, reminiscing about the good old days. Feel the Earth Move. It's Too Late, Way Over Yonder, You've Got a Friend, Will You Love Me Tomorrow, Tapestry, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. And then Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel. Another great album. You glance at the back cover and find a star next to side 2, track 4. Okay. A hazy shade of winter. Are there any other stars? There are not. Back? Interesting. Okay. What secret feelings? The collection of tapestries bear many secrets. That they do. Alright, the blue tapestry. Wait. What tapestry did I go through then? Oh, okay. I don't want to see blood. I don't like blood, Sam whimpers. So, okay, blue tapestry, open window. From the window, you find a thick rope tied around a big branch, 15 feet. Hey, we're back! We have the rope. You could pull the rope in through the window or climb up the rope. You could return to the main room. Wait, I'm sorry. While I sleep? So if we go to I'm not a god. Okay. So wait. So we can go further up. I want to try to climb up the rope. You step out of the window and grab the rope. You climb up and find a loft built atop the main room. You can climb back down. You crawl through a very small window into a tiny alcove. There isn't room to stand, so you lie down on a bamboo mat. Lying on the mat, you discover an amazing view of the night sky through a skylight in the roof. A mobile of the solar system is just above your head. You could stay and watch the stars all night, or you can leave. What's the mobile? Mobile features models of the planets rotating around the sun. Planets are made of glass and are sized appropriately to their actual size on a small scale. You're tempted to take one. There's all the planets. Yes. It can be, just anything like that, but yeah, absolutely. Like, I definitely had a planet mobile when I was, like, in grade school. Well, I know we need Venus. You take Venus. You could stay and watch the stars all night, or you can leave. Let's just save here. Turn 121. So that's interesting. Okay. It's interesting that it does this like turn-based thing because I don't usually think of I don't usually think of itch or like click-based games like this to be like turn focused. So I found that really, really interesting. Okay. I saved because it says all night, but there's other stuff about the stars that was part of that like note on the notepad. You lay quietly on the mat, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky. Suddenly, your feet drop and you slide into the kitchen, landing on the floor with a jolt. Oh, cool. You just lie there, and then we have the fridge. The notepad, just to be sure, Venus, but we have the Pleiades, Jupiter, Capella, and Aldebaran. Forever, Sam repeats with a dreamy look. Let's go back up there. Okay. We have the rope. We can climb. Find the loft. Can we take another one? What happens if we take Mercury? Okay, that's fine. So I have both Mercury and Venus. You pull the end of the rope in through the window. The rope is still tied to the large branch above. We're gonna return to the main room. You can't take my soul, Sam laughs. You drag the heavy rope behind you. There isn't much to do with the rope here, but you can drop it for later. Okay. Go back to the tapestries. We still have one more. Sunburst. You pull aside the tapestry and reveal a doorway leading to a ledge. The wooden ledge juts out from the treehouse. The rope has been pulled out from the opening. You can return to the main room or check out other tapestries, or you can lower the rope down through the opening in the ledge. Lower it. You lower the rope down through the opening in the ledge. You can climb down. Or you can return to the main room or check out other tapestries. What happens if we climb down? Nope. We've done this before. Okay. So climb back up. So that's a 15-foot drop that killed us. Heck yeah. Having a twine game where you can die. Alright. So let's go back. I love you. No bad things. Alright, so we have the mandala. Let's go to the platform. Right, that was where we got the key. The twig, that's a key. Black and white, that's the kitchen. Purple is the steps leading up. The shelves are brimming with books. There's an open box on the floor. The books told us how to use the key. Seasons Tapestry 102 and 0 and 7. Alright, let's spin the inner ring. Okay, I thought I hit inner ring, but I guess I hit outer ring. Arrow points at 0 on the outer ring. Oh no, and 1 on the inner ring. Wait. Hang on. Don't be angry. How does this work? Hang on. I thought it was 0 and 7. No, not a window. Seasons. Lock. Oh, 0 to 7. I see. Okay. So it's 102 on the outside, and it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. What? 1, 0, 2 in that order with 0 in the center. So we have 1 and 2. 2 on the inner ring, 3. Okay. What was that? 1 and 4? the tapestry suddenly rolls up, revealing a hidden door. The door has a long bolt spanning the width of it. There's a small opening below the bolt. There's a slight indentation in the door above the bolt. You can return to the main room or check out more tapestries. The bolt spans the width of the door. It looks like it can slide in either direction. Something is keeping the bolt from sliding in either direction. So there's a small opening that we can put the twig into. You try to push the twig into the keyhole, but something is blocking the opening. Okay. There's a slight indentation in the door above the bolt. Indentation looks like you could put something round into it. You try the marble, you could try mercury. I think I need to go to the main room. Sam, who talks really loud and is usually all by themselves, has gone quiet. Uh-oh. That's not good. Okay. I think it's the blue tapestry, the window, the rope, climb up, the loft, the mobile. Okay, so I have both Mercury and... Okay. I have both Mercury and Venus. So we go back to the blue. Nope. Sunburst. Nope. Seasons. Hidden door. Indentation. Round. Mercury. Push the model into the indentation, but it doesn't fit properly and drops to the floor. Okay. Let's try the marble. It stays for a moment, then rolls out and drops to the floor. Okay. The rope is a tripping hazard. Okay, what about the pillows? The tatami-style floor pillows are thick, round cushions made from knitted straw and stuffed with buckwheat hulls. They're surprisingly comfortable, but serve no other purpose. Okay, so we have to go back upstairs. Rope, climb, loft, mobile. So if it's not... So the second smallest planet would be Mars. Let's just grab Earth. And then leave, and then window, and then tapestries. I really don't want to like keep going back and forth and back and forth. I wonder if it's going to let me... You can try Earth. It doesn't fit properly. Oh, wait. So puzzles are supposed to be self-contained. You should not need to know that Mars is the second smallest planet or whatever. Actually, is it Mars or Venus? But Venus isn't an option here. Okay, main room. It's not that rope. Tapestry. Also, Sam is not talking anymore. But I can't talk to them. So whatever. We'll just keep doing this. Climb. Loft. Why don't we get the biggest one? Like, I'm curious why it's not giving me the option to use all of them? And if it's expecting me to be like, well, that one didn't fit, that one didn't fit. No, because Earth is bigger than both Venus and Mars. So, okay. Indentation, put something around, Jupiter. It's going to make me try this over and over, I guess? What are the other things? We have the Sunburst Tapestry. Sunburst Tapestry is what we came in through. Okay. Back upstairs. Open window. Rope. Climb. Loft. Mobile. Mars. Leave. Window. Let's just grab all of them. Saturn. Climb. Loft. Mobile. Uranus. Leave. Window. Rope. Climb. Loft. Neptune. So we have all of them now. Window. Tapestries. Seasons. Hidden door. Indentation. Round. Neptune. Hidden door. Indentation. Round. Oh no, I did break it. Oh, I broke it the first time. Oh no. Seasons, hidden door, indentation. I don't have anything to put in the indentation. Okay. Well, what happens? Use the twig. Something is blocking the opening. What else is here? There's the bolt. Climbing down the rope is the same. It's that 15-foot drop. Let's go back to the... So we have the rope. We have the tapestries. We don't have Sam. I guess pick up the rope. Go to the tapestries. Sunburst is going back out. Blue is the window. Seasons, hidden door. I mean... Yeah... I don't know. This basket... I mean, I can... You roll the cat's eye around in your palm. It's helping with your anxiety. You're starting to feel like a pack mule with this rope. That's fine. You could lower the rope down through the opening in the ledge. You lower the rope down. You can climb down. It's still a 15-foot drop. Well... Keep climbing down. Let's just drop down. That breaks our legs. Okay. So we do have a save. But I think that's after... Okay, you take Venus. Oh my gosh. Okay, leave. Window. Tapestries. Seasons tapestry. Spin outer ring counterclockwise. Nope. Spin outer ring clockwise. Spin outer ring clockwise. It should be 1, 2. Okay. Maybe it was 2 and 4? The outer ring and inner ring roll back to 0. The letter ring rolls back to an empty space. There's a letter ring? Okay. Maybe I misunderstood. There we go. So it's 2 and 4, not 1 and 4. 1 and 3 is bad. And may have also broken it. Okay, we have a hidden door, slight indentation, something round. Put Venus in. You put the Venus model into the indentation and it snaps into place. You hear the sound of something sliding open. You can return to the main room or examine the hidden door. No, we keep examining the hidden door. There's a small opening. We can use the twig. You slide the twig into the keyhole and push it down slightly, producing an unlatching sound. You can examine the hidden door. Further, there's a bolt. It could slide. You slide the bolt out, allowing the door to be opened. Opening the door, you find a cylindrical shaft going down. "You found the shaft to the front door!" Sam exclaims. "It's just large enough for you to fit inside, but there doesn't appear to be a way to climb down. You can examine the hidden door, return to the main room, or check out more tapestries." Main room. Tapestries. Blue tapestry. Window. Rope. Pull the rope. Tapestries. Seasons tapestry. Door. Lower the rope down the shaft. "I love you. No bad things." That's one of the random things that Sam says from the game. Climb down. You're about to make your escape. Yeah, Sam has been uncomfortably shouting the entire time. Sam is playing one of Amanda Walker's games. When we get to the credits, I will remember what... Oh, An Admirer by Amanda Walker. You're about to go make your escape, giving the room one last look. You pause to find Sam happily enjoying An Admirer. They look up at you and smile warmly. "What do you think of my treehouse?" they ask. Before you respond, you catch a familiar look in their eyes. Look of loneliness. It's the same feeling that brought you here in the first place. We have two choices. Oh no. Do we break their heart? No, we return to the thing. "I love your treehouse, Sam," you reply. You step back to the table and grab your empty glass. "Would you like another drink?" you ask. "Sure, I'll get it," they say, starting to rise, but you stop them. "Allow me. I know where the fridge is." You smile and head to the kitchen. So there's another ending. I think we gave this one a full look. I might look for that other ending myself. I couldn't leave Sam. I understand. This is Welcome to My Treehouse by Deborah Sherwood. Other than the little bug, that was fun. That was different. A lot more puzzle focused. A lot more, you know, I think it's useful to have different things. We had a lot that were like very narrative focused. This being puzzle focused and doing it in Twine instead of a parser. Like I think Twine tends not to be so puzzle focused, or not, at least not like lock and key puzzle focused. I'm curious how we're supposed to figure out the lock puzzle other than through trial and error. I might come back to this one just myself to check it out. That was awesome. Thank you for that. Welcome to My Treehouse. So we have one last game. We have our Wheel of Morality. For the purposes of, the bit, let's spin. And it's Bedrock. Wow. What a surprise. We have a game. It's called Bedrock. Let me look up who wrote it. So we have Bedrock. Oh no, we're out of things to spin. I don't. We'll have to think about this. Bedrock is by Kate Solar. We have a game year. Unsurprisingly, it's 2025. All these games are from this year, and I think, like, I do joke, but I think it's, like, important to know that these games are, like, from this year. All these games were released. You know, I think about that a lot with, like, how many games are released just in, like, the first month of 2025. You know, not to mention other stuff. So we have Bedrock. I'm gonna assume that it's not a Okay, good to know. I'm gonna assume that it's not a Flintstones reference. So Bedrock is by Kate Solar, and we're gonna check it out. The end of the world, not a cloud, not a ghost. Put your head against mine and teach me how it goes. Do I have about? Let's do about. Okay, we're gonna shrink this down a bit so that it fits the whole page. Something that I do think about this, like, and I don't know what stuff is written in and created in, but, like, I use, obviously, like, this isn't a full screen thing. If I did full screen, I mean, you can see it would work. This is also, we're not designers. These are interactive fiction games. These are pretty long lines. I'm gonna say that. So shrinking down the width of the page, and then not having scrolling, something to think about. This draft of a game, poem, fairy tale, spiral, whiteout was created for ShuffleComp 25. It's based entirely around one song, A Hole in the Ground by Porter's Radio, submitted by Coral Nola, who made one of, like, the coolest games. Anyway, I got Coral into Porridge Radio, and Coral got me into interactive fiction, so it kind of felt like fate for me to receive this as a prompt. Whatever this project is, it certainly doesn't feel done. Perhaps more development coming in the future? I'll leave you with singer-songwriter Dana Margolin's words on the song. This is a song about not knowing, being trapped in a haunted fairy tale or a horrible nightmare, and running and predicting horrible futures that come true and self-fulfill. It's a gentle lullaby, but it's also a folktale with a tragic ending. This is a song about knowing what you don't know yet, seeing the future by guessing, being right. Let's begin. She's standing again on the path to their house, and all she can focus her eyes on are the leafless branches above, splintering the white banks of cloud like strips of lead upon stained glass. She has walked this route so many times she can navigate by the grit of the stone beneath her feet and the forks of the branches above. But just as she steps onto the lawn, the whole ground falls away. There's a glimmer of light within, a shape which seems to be her reflection, but somehow she isn't sure. She steps towards it, or she can turn away. If we choose turning away, the woods seem to darken before her eyes, new branches striking out the sky and the snow, but she tries to run forward regardless, even though all she can find is dark forever. Lead falls from her hands, forming the outline of a wing. It echoes down below. The winter tastes of hunger, slicing time, clearing spring, so she can break forever. The end of the world, not a cloud, not a ghost. Put your head against mine and teach me how it goes. Let's do the other branch. She's standing again on the path to their house, and all she can focus her eyes on are the leafless branches above, splintering the white banks of cloud-like strips of lead upon stained glass. She's walked this route so many times, she can navigate by the grit of the stone beneath her feet and the forks of the branches above. But just as she steps onto the lawn, the whole ground falls away. There's a glimmer of light within, a shape which seems to be her reflection, but somehow she isn't sure. She steps towards it, or she can turn away. Let's step towards it. She's standing again on the path to Sparrow's house, and all she can focus her eyes on are the leafless branches above, splintering the white banks of cloud like strips of lead upon stained glass. The eyes disappear, and the cloud disappears. And stained glass crystals fall from the shards of sky. She lays the palm of one of her hands on top of the back of another, crisscrossed, star-crossed, forming a bird. The back of their head against the window, she traces the outline with her gaze tenderly, holding her desire like a stick of willow charcoal she mustn't break. It's just their silhouette in the lilac dust until they turn and look towards her, and all the air in the room seems to move at once, a murmuration of particles, a huge wing beating against the stillness. Everything's constantly in some state of appearance and reappearance. Sparrow is walking out onto the pond ice, scraping away powdery snow as they step forward. She waits on the edge for them, nervous, her feet crushing pale, dried pondweed, anticipating the sound of the surface breaking and the way she will feel cracked in half, when. But of course, everything is stilled by thick cold, and the ice doesn't break, and Sparrow walks to her and reaches for her hand and leads her forwards onto the ice. Don't be so worried, they say. The water can't be more than a foot deep anyways. They walk forward and stand side by side, the ice unbreaking below them, overcast sky above, silent now. What she's listening to is the echo of the feeling of their fingers intertwining. Even though they're so close to shore, and it's just the pond, it feels to her like there's no knowing how deep it could be underneath. If in fact below the ice the water could continue down until it becomes a separate place. Then, sharp crack of ice snapping somewhere below, and they both scream and laugh and shuffle back to the safety of solid ground. Looking back at the pond, the ice is unscathed except for the two sets of. The low sun pulls many colors through her half-closed eyelashes. Ice beads the ends of every branch. Frost spikes the grass. These days, it feels like it never actually gets light. Instead, the bruised just lift for a second, and then the woods fall back to a perpetual dusk. The winter is the same way. Sometimes the snow will melt, but only so it can freeze again the next day, slicking everything into mirrors that play back her every movement. She's not sure when it began or when it ended. She watches Sparrow digging in the snow by their door, searching for botanical survivors. A few spots of fresh black soil atop the white, spilled ink on a piece of paper. She feels inside her chest something splinter slightly. "What are you looking for?" she asks. "This," they say, and hand a sprig of wintergreen to her, and she pulls off a pink berry and chews it, sudden waxy crush of mint between her teeth. She laughs in surprise at the taste. She wakes suddenly from her dream, lying on the stone hearth. Between midnight and dawn, it is dark, but for the barest hint of dissolving around the embers. Her cotton nightgown is crushed below her, presses her arms against the ground as if that let her fuse with the granite. Still and incapable of hunger, immobilized this way, begins to listen to the rise and fall of their breath from their bed behind her. "I am a single point in a vast expanse of absence," thinks. A shining ladder before her. Can't see where it reaches, but knows it's a way out, and just as starts to move to climb it. The two of them are in the churchyard and noticing the paint is gradually starting to peel off the wood shingle sides. This can only keep happening. Sparrow points two graves in the yard. One their father, one their brother. "I wonder what's under there now," they say. Doesn't know what to say to this. Can't imagine there being anything except a lack. The lands around the church look like they would have been very pretty once. There are small trees around the border, dogwood, sour cherry, plum, honeysuckle, but they have few remaining flowers and leaves, and everything's glazed over with clear, shining ice. Veins of schist tumble through the rock face, melting and bending and folding, and now forever still. Sketches them in her little notebook, graphite sketch against the slightly warped paper. The act of tracing them is an act of connection, taking some part of this impossibly long stretch of time for her to keep. "What are you drawing?" "Just shapes," answers. Sparrow steps forward and traces their finger along the bright lines. You can sort of the form of a person here. A tall woman in full skirts. Look, her face is in profile, turned this way. Picks up her pencil again, but not tracing other people, sketching the way Sparrow's hair falls around the nape of their neck, a reflexive instinct to catalog these things, another detail filed away. Like that could be an alternative to touch or a remedy for some future problem that even form in her mind. Walking alone through the woods and the winter air is slicing her into halves. They're walking across the frozen pond together. A harsh wind is blowing. It's not time to do this, but when is? Across there and they, walking like nothing has happened except that some bright is about to pierce through. They pause as they always do when they center of ice step closer together. They are very close. Something implacable is given through that double-edged glaze. Something knows return. Return. Alone in house. Tries remember of melting. It's hard for think now. a pebble mantelpiece rolls around in palm. Was plume smoke saw first, feathering horizon in way had forgotten expect. Or was figure framed against framed against clearing, dancing, leaping. Then sparrows sitting by fire, holding their damp in front them. I'm still expecting spring. Quartz crystals projecting from stone, as if their attempt break free. Tries commit their form memory. So replace other things remembered. Is taking across snow newly deep, crushing ice into crystals forever. That was cool. So I really love the erasure mechanic. And it didn't necessarily like start out as like, oh, this is going to be poetry, but the erasure poetry, or like, oh, there's a blackout poetry. I guess the author calls it whiteout. That's really interesting. So that's the back half of this. I'm going to take a couple minute streamer break just to get some water, honestly. And I've got a B-side, and I hope that you dig what I'm thinking. I'm just going to give myself 4 minutes really quick. I hope you dig what I'm thinking here, and we can go from there. So I'm gonna give myself 4 minutes. I'm gonna mute myself. We have some vibes and tunes. And actually, 1 second. I'm gonna explicitly test out to see if some additional songs might be good to add to the list. We'll find out. But yeah, so that's all the games, except for one from ShuffleComp. So that's 19 games. And I think we saw like a little bit of everything when it comes to what interactive fiction kind of has to offer. We had definitely like Bedrock is a great example of like doing something literary with a mechanic. Bez's games, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the fact that it was so dialogue focused. I think that a lot of authors myself included, are very afraid of dialogue. And I think the voice acting that Bez brought to the 3 games that A had added or had submitted, I think that's something that I want to see more authors play with. Like, what does it mean to have and actually, like, bad form, but let's pop on over, and that way we can see all of them. You can see that 5 to 8, we played 5 today. But like, let's actually go through, bash random a few times, and just go through the games that we played. We played Thrall, which is a really fun, honestly, little story about vampires, and introspective, diary-like. I think the graphics were really cool in it. Hey, that's my game. Get out of here. No one cares about that. Man Unlidded didn't get a fair shake in the stream because it bugged out. I'm going to play the non-bugged version off stream just to see where it goes, but I really love the mechanic of it, of like, okay, you need to get 2 things together and smell or taste. Diner for the End of the World, probably, I mean, no lie, maybe my favorite, like, straight narrative of it. Just a really cool world. Tableau. Trying to remember. I'm gonna open that in a new window to remember what I thought about that. Yeah, okay, so that was a Parser game that was had a really cool, like, dream sequence, and like I really loved how it bounced from sequence to sequence and made you feel like very unmoored, in the same way that the main character is very unmoored and like dealing with moving from the dream sequence into reality and then back. The maze was some incredible prose, and I think a really cool, like, meditation on choice and the lack of choice, especially. It's well-worn territory for interactive fiction, but I think this was really, the prose was what was the highlight there, and I think it was worth it. Nothing But Me and You was very, very cool sci-fi. Had a real, like, 17666 vibe, which I really loved. We just played a little guidance for Big Heart. Again, I talked about how I love the voice acting across all of what Bez had, but I think in particular that one had, like, it was just cute. It was a cute story. Sophomore Slump was one that my first run of it was really short, and I was like, let me look a little deeper. And you could really quickly see how, like, the spider web of choices just expands out, and I found that was really, really cool about it. Annalona had just such a vivid world, and I really deeply enjoyed these, like, very strange, like, Wonderland type characters. Abyssal Pelagic, Cable Anomaly, just catnip for me, just in, like, how it was written it felt as oppressive as that title might make you think. Hideous Fabulous. I hope it's not uncouth to say probably my absolute favorite. I think this is really using the form in an incredible way. It has more endings than what I found. I found 2 on stream, I believe. There are 6, I believe, endings. So that's really cool. Line in the Sand was a really fascinating way of setting up form around this navigation circle that was set up in the in the game interface. You had this navigation circle, and it was used both as navigation and as your choices, and also as like a ticking clock. I really loved how it was like constantly reinterpreting that interface. Freedom's Whirlwind was a really like, I think just a great bite-sized little bit of poetry, thinking about like what it really means to have choices and to make those choices. Killer Tune Kills Me. I love all sci-fi. It's kind of a problem with my tastes. I can forgive quite a bit in sci-fi if it's sci-fi. Didn't have to forgive much here. I think the world that was created, I think the fact that it was communicated across this like long distance intermittent dialogue, I think was really rad. Raven and Cardinal, in listening to this song, I really loved how Bez, the author, interpreted that song, went like so deep on that song, and made like these 2 really sympathetic characters, even as one is kind of trashy, and we love trash. Two Spirits at Sea was like a cool, like introspective sort of like impressionist work. Again, the voice acting, I can't say enough how like much this made me think about voice acting in interactive fiction. And we just played Bedrock. That was really neat. I really loved the whiteout method, and I love how I wonder, and I'm gonna click everything, so I wonder if there was like something missing if you didn't, something missing given that I clicked a bunch and whited out words really quickly. I'm curious what it looks like when you don't do that. And welcome to My Treehouse, which was a interesting puzzle game that had references to other IF games, but I think what's really cool about it was that it was this like twine-based puzzle game with a static world. And I think being like explicitly a puzzle game rather than like a hypertext was a nice like change of things. So I don't know. That's a bunch of games. That's 18 games. So I'm gonna take that 3-minute break. I'm gonna get some water. And we'll see each other in a little bit. I am gonna cut off Darren Korb here.
and we're gonna test out to see if the Citizen Sleeper, soundtrack gets us cut. All right, see you in just a couple minutes. This is what I get for taking a break that is not a full 5 minutes, just 3:59. Okay. So we've got like a little bit of time. I hope you forgive me for this. I'm going to do something. Yeah. Okay. Let's there is one other game in ShuffleComp. And hopefully this isn't gauche, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But we can check it out. I don't think there's any harm in that. So, like I've said too many times, I put in a game. And so I put in a game that is HyperCard. You can check out some stuff that I've done. You can check out YouTube. I've also checked out HyperCard on Geneva Lee's channel for Twitchmas. Please be the right person. Yes, Geneva Lee. So like, if you want more of this, you can check out some of the Twitchmas stuff that we did. I guess I should change the game name to not be incorrect. So yeah, so this is the game that I did. And I want to show it off sort of with a intent towards like explaining some stuff and explaining like not so much a post-mortem or anything like that, but just I don't know, talk about like designing in a lot of different ways a budget. So you can see how messy this is, how many different copies I have. It's gonna be fun for me to figure out which one of these is the correct one. There is, of course, the application version, but why would I make something easy for myself? So I think this is the right one. And we'll go from there. It starts out with like this sort of cutscene, I guess. Oh. It tells us our hull has a breach detected, and our oxygen has a leak detected. Our pneumatics and hydraulics are inactive. Our comms are not connecting. Our weapons, most importantly, and our shields, even more importantly. Fair. You win. So this is what I got done for the jam. I'm gonna come back to it for after the jam and finish it. You can hear ooh, a little too loud. You can hear the beauties of HyperCard audio. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to use HyperCard, is that it does have built-in audio. There are thanks. So this has full list of everything. All the songs that I had. Of these, the last these two, Anomalies and Million Year Summer, are not used at all. In this, they will be used to a lesser degree. No, not to a lesser degree. They will be used in the full version if I ever finish it. But I actually use audio, so what I did was I found like a transcription app, transcription like program, and went in there and actually like figured out. You use the automated one, but it needed a lot of like control. I don't love how I did all of them, but that's fine. Maybe we'll remaster a few. So that's kind of where it's at. So we come back. We can rewatch the initial thing, but I don't think that's really necessary. I do kind of wish I took out when you come back this like repeat, but whatever. So you wake up. If it wasn't so trite, it'd hurt less. The same 3 hours of your life repeated over and over and over. It has to be the same ending. You can't allow yourself the alternative. All three of these branch. Not like meaningfully, but different information. You curl around your arm. It seethes, burning as if it was being crushed by tons of spasming machinery. Unfortunately, it's impossible to soothe what's no longer a part of you. So one of the things that I tried to do here was not be super explicit with the plot and like the backing story. This section is all and all of the bedroom sections are oh boy, I really should have that list up in front of me, shouldn't I? In a momento. Are all Endless Summer Malaise by the artist formerly known as Twinkle Park. So the shutters are down, probably for the best. Honestly, most days you stare directly at the sun. So it's back to sleep. You can't sleep. And if you click on the TV, classic, Prisoners of Space Amazons. What? It's better than it sounds. It helps to see yourself in something. So that's cool. We have this message box, and I'm really proud of this message box. It's a silly thing to be proud of. We have new messages and saved messages. I was hoping that it'd be clear in this. So like some probably unnecessary backstory. Our characters are not human. Our characters use hex codes, color hex codes,
frankly, because I thought it'd be funny because HyperCard is black and white. But our characters use hex codes for their first and last names, and their rank is the first two numbers. The U1352, it's the same thing down here. That's the time. So we have new messages, and then the 38 and 67X are supposed to be days ago, basically. So we have time, days ago, and like when you're doing sci-fi, especially, like, you do have this blank slate. You don't need to have a 24-hour clock. You don't need to have a base 60 clock for minutes and seconds. Like, but you also need to make something like understandable at first glance. And that's something I find interesting. So we have 3 new messages, 2 saved messages. So some of this is going to be like, here's an optimized playthrough. I don't remember, and I'm not going to use the hints, built-in hint system, so maybe not. I don't like that that's 1352 for both of them, but that's okay. So we have two messages at the same time. Let's check that out. Hey, 134, if you don't get your sorry tail at the drinks right the fuck now, 6 Ed is gonna drink your drink. Come out and play. 1 through 8. So at the bottom, you see our timer is ticking down. Or ticking up, I guess. So at the same time, we get this much more professional email to the new SR F4E5F0. I'm glad that I'm happy to let you know we've cleared your transfer to the repair division. Report at 1833. SDEOEDDF. So the way that the ranks work, the first letter gives you a hint of the department. The second letter, there's a whole table I have here being like, well, what are these things? But now it's 1814. And we have 3 choices. We can clear the new message from Med Lab, or we can look at these saved messages. And there's one that's C, that's for civilian, and one for KR. And I think I'm gonna do KR. Pathetic. You think you can just walk away from this? From us? From everything you said? Watch your back. Some of us still have friends. Love. 3:30. So 3:30 might come back. Oh, we got 4. Well, fine. We'll read the other one. We just wanted to say everyone loves you and is keeping you in their prayers. Wake up soon. Just wake up for us. Love, Mom and Pap. It's you 8:30. You shouldn't be late to your new assignment. No longer fit for piloting. Whatever. Report in, soldier. It takes no time to set your arm in place. The feeling of suction, then the skittering pins and needles of electronic nerve paths enabling will always remain an uncanny reminder of what's changed for you. You walk down the hall, past the pilot's lounge. You hear the usual questionably feasible boasts that always are a thin cover for terrifying implications of fronts and priorities that have shifted. Ha! F4A5FO, welcome. No rank, but a surname. You hesitate, debating the right way to reply to your new supervisor. All these images are from Unsplash. And then, so Hypercard in particular has a very specific dither pattern and dither algorithm. And that's what really makes stuff like look and feel like Apple. So like if you see something that is 1-bit dithered, like the Return of Obra Dinn. Return of Obra Dinn doesn't look like Mac dithering, and it doesn't have to. But this is specific. This is Bill Atkinson's algorithm for dithering. Bill Atkinson created HyperCard, was instrumental in creating Mac Paint as well. We have two choices, potentially a rank and a surname. Rank. Datha, recruit F4E5FO, reporting for duty. A slightly too long pause hangs in the air. They give a friendlier chuckle than you were expecting. At ease. We're going to be working together for too long for ranks. So one thing I tried to do, and it's hard to line this stuff up, but one thing I tried to do was have anything that you as the player are saying right aligned. So that this is left aligned, it's aligned with this box, the display box. So let's get you acquainted with the repair bay. They lead you around each machine and tool bay. We get to see all types down here, but what I hired you for is your experience as a pilot. You stay silent, letting their scowls say it all. I don't need to tell you, the pilots will talk your ear off, but it ain't just garage fodder. Just like you, they know exactly what's wrong with their babies. Once you hear their tall tales, you've got to put in the order for the parts to fix them up. They point to each line on the monitor. So this section was actually really hard for me to figure out how to do, and I left it maybe for a little too late. This idea that you're not going to know what these things mean, and because of how short the game is, you don't have time to discuss it and learn it through trial and error. If this were a longer game, I would not have done it in this interface. I probably would have done it just in a web interface. Maybe there's other ways to do it, but given how short this game is, there's not really time to trial and error it. And I talked to some folks when I was brainstorming to be I don't know, do we how do I do this exactly? And they're yeah, so you should get a report and see what happens. It's okay. That's a lot of writing for 1 month, especially when you're going through the holidays, and holidays are hard. But armor is for any surface damage. Struts replace deep structure like limbs. Hydraulics allow for movement. That should be allow. I just want to fix that right now. Cannons are tactile weaponry. 2 per craft. The energy core is the powerhouse of the craft. And I use the term craft because I don't ever show the ships or whatever you want them to be. In my head, so I do talk about arms and things like that, but that could be conceivably metaphorical or the just words for these craft. I did have mech robots in mind. Life support is the last line of defense for pilots. The sensor array lets pilots see far into the depths, and hard light cuts deep in close combat. and you can always ask me for advice. As if on cue, the Datha's spiel wound down. A young pilot meekly leaned into the repair bay, medical patches adorning their shoulders. So you can see the M for medical, the R is their rank. It's the same rank that you have as an SR. Everybody also has, everybody starts, so to go too deep into this because I thought about this way too much. Everybody starts as a KR, a Karash recruit, and then you split off into your departments. So SR for repair recruit, MR for medical, and there's a couple more. Dathas are a couple points above you on the ladder, but like that's really not explained in this, and I don't want it to be explained. Like, I want it to be kind of weird. I wish I could have found more photos of people smoking and made it more clear that this person was like clearly like just housing a cigarette. The Datha laughs, motioning them towards you. You can almost feel the parental pride radiating from your supervisor. So, you're the new SR. A pause. A look. You don't think, nah, can't be. Well, I just need some routine stuff, I guess. Scrape the wall of a hulk looking for any survivors at a distress call site. In a dry hulk. Something broke. Had to fly by visuals all the way back. They seem pretty embarrassed about it all. Medics aren't known for their piloting acumen, but they have their own challenges. You know, scrubs. But you do have the medics to thank for... You can't say it. Not yet. Time to get to work. Just like the Datha said. Choose the right parts, send the order. So this is where I wish I had like that feedback loop so that I don't have to have the Ask the Datha. You can always hit that Ask the Datha and it's like pretty clear what needs to happen. If I remember right, this one is armor. As it says, scrape the edge. Pretty much all of them need armor. And the sensor array, because they said that they flew blind afterwards. Then you can always clear the order, but you send the order. The Datha speaks up. You got that, SR? I'd be mighty upset if you sent the wrong order. You don't have time to properly debrief with your Datha before a pilot with a much more traditional smugness saunters in. You know the type. You were the type. You can see X. X is for the pilots, and D is another Datha. So this person earned their smugness. The smell of Corpo's cigarettes permeates the air around them. So this one is based off of one of the songs, "The Devil's Son," which is a Jolly Rogers song. That's one that I kind of want to go back and see what I can do better. You only get one channel. You only have 3 different options when it comes to songs. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to figure out like what you're trying to, even with like having the transcription done for you. So Corpo's cigarettes made of chems and who knows what. You never touched them. Made you jumpy. You little grease pushers don't have any idea the kind of mission I just had. There's a glimmer in their eye. You didn't sound like that, did you? So. Oh, gods, here it comes. There we was, out in the wilds for the better part of the past 3 weeks, chasing a corsair that's been the scourge of that sector for at least twice as long. I was just about to call it a loss, head back to port. Of course, then he shows his ugly mug on our scanners. Our mission was to just bring him in, but something happened to him out there. We opened hailing frequencies. It had to be some kind of weird filter or something. Screen was filled by his beard all aflame and his cold heart of ice pulsing away. We tried to make it clear. I don't know. Their tone shifts. A boastful ace pilot cowed by true fearlessness. They turned pale, the cocky grin wiped from their face. What are you supposed to say to it's a damn good day to die? Well, I got my answer. Take a hard, light shiv right to the gut. You know what they mean. It's not just a craft, it's your body. So, I'll admit it, I panicked. Fired all my cannons once right at him. You'd think he'd have panicked too. He wasted no time in getting comms back up just to spit at us, his killers, through broken teeth. Wasn't a split second later that his cockpit wall breached. The pilot takes a shaky breath in. It's probably the first time he admits how close it really was. It took me until after the debris cleared to realize I'd lost motion in both my arms. He cut me good, the bastard. They just stand there. They can't bring themselves to ask for the repairs directly. Time to get to work. So, there's damage. So, armor. Hydraulics. Said that there were 2 cannons. Oh, cool. Right click and left click both work. I don't think anything else. I think it's armor. Couldn't move either, so one thing that I wish I had made clearer is that hydraulics is 1 per arm, same with structs. So not being able to move anything would be hydraulics. 2, and then 2 cannons. I think that's it. We'll find out. Send order. The pilot sees you key in the order. With a sharp nod, they salute your Datha, who passes the thankful nod to you. Nice work today, recruit. Close up. There'll be plenty more pilots next shift. Of course, it'd be nice if we got a resupply. No such luck. So it needed, like, some kind of, excuse to limit the items. If it were a longer game, we could have, like, a lot of items or, like, do percentages or something, like, more abstract than just, like, 1, 2, but... yeah, no. Anyway, get some rest. And don't forget to check the papers before you come in. Might find out how good you did. You survived your first day in your new role. Not many get to move on. Most don't even make it back. The Datha left before you. Rank does have its privileges. You flip off the main lights in the bay and head to the bulkhead. A face you haven't seen for months stands in the doorway. This one's mine! Hello, pair of Salamanca. Yeah. I figured since we had a little bit of extra time, I could be, a little, self-indulgent? And maybe talk a little bit about, like, what I was thinking and things like that, because I do have that, like, slightly inner knowledge. So this was, a Mitski song. The Frost. And this was the song that I, like, knew to build the entire thing around. A sucking of teeth you wouldn't have heard if it wasn't so damned familiar. They talk past you. XRB9CN, XRB9C9 8F, reporting major structural damage following mission. They continue to rattle off a 2 formal requests. So structural damage. Requesting repairs to left and right arm structure, replacement of all physical and energy weaponry, and as dim as it is in the shop, there is silhouette in the doorway. The warble in their voice is the only way anyone could tell how much pain they're still in. No, okay. Everybody in the world just uses a hex code, like a color hex code, for their name. And the XR or KR or SD before it is their rank. So like, this is simply because I'm really bad at picking names for characters. Even in most of the stuff that I write, I don't use names unless they're like characters off the screen. And I was like, okay, well, like, how do I do this? And I was just like, you know what? In this world, that's what they use. They don't use names. Nicknames are the first number of each of them. So like, of their first name. So it's like last name, first name. So this character's first name, do I have it written down on a piece of paper here? One thing I do want to do kind of is just like take pictures of my notes to just be like, if your notes ever look ridiculous, don't worry, mine look just as bad. I don't have the character list right in front of me. So they're all roughly people. My headcanon is of my own game is that they're not humans. The warble in their voice is the only way anyone could tell how much pain they're still in. You were promised adventure, structure, camaraderie. You both were. So this is a short little branch. The black void of space offset by 3 squares and a cot. Theoretically, one for each of you. So this is also a branch. And I'm not sure if I'm going to track this branching. $300. What happened? You can see flashes of pain in their eyes. They still remember what you had said. And a core replacement SR. You turn back into the bay, letting the glow of the monitor envelop you as you key in the requests. So you can always hit Ask the Datha. I'm actually testing myself whether that's like even vaguely reasonable. It said a full replacement. Yeah, I mean that's really the thing for me in a lot of cases is that like this is just a personal thing. I like my main characters to be non-binary. That's just, you know. It also makes it so that like I feel regardless of how you want to read these people, and any character that I write, regardless of how you want to read them, and maybe in writing them, there's also like, well, doesn't matter how much you get rid of something, you're still going to like have a binary there, have like, you're gonna write in the sense that like you as the author are imagining, regardless of like trying to intentionally strip something meaningless like, somebody's gender. Like, doesn't matter that this pilot is male or female or other or whatever. No. But also, it's, the images that you choose as an author point a direction. All of this. I think it's something that I think more about than other people do, but I've also had people who've looked at my writing be kind of like, well, how is everybody a they? It's like, why do you care? Tell me about my turns of phrase. Anyway. If I remember right, you got real messed up. So it's a full physical. You know what? Let's do full physical and full everything. There's only one core. There's only one life support. There's only one sensor array. It's just a full refresh. Look up to let 300 know when their craft will be ready. They're already gone. It's long past the end of your scheduled shift when they finally slink down the hall back to your quarters. For the first time in months, you sleep soundly. So we're back to our quarters. What happens if we click on stuff? So TV's different. You didn't even have time. You always needed to put it on. Yeah, that could be written a little better. You dreamt of them. You couldn't see their eyes. They didn't say anything. The silence was deafening. You gonna go away? Okay, no. Didn't even turn off the light. Yeah, for sure. So we replaced the emails that you got. So like we still have this 2 saved messages, same thing. So one of the possibilities I did remember, I believe, to increment the day by 1. So you do have the opportunity to, if you didn't choose one of these, you can read it still, because I do think that both of the saved messages are like really, really important. So you have your top news. Yeah, that's for sure. You have your top news and here. And so like what I have here is a remnant of the ideas of getting feedback. So, okay. Well, I got the Med Squad and Blackbeard correct. Let's read those. The Med Squad sews up. And these are just like snippets, because I only have so much space. It's only like, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred characters. And like, yeah, you can set up scrolling and stuff in HyperCard, but I'm kind of like misusing a bunch of things. Here I'm using, there's 2 main, if we go look in the tools, I've not, it's one of those things on my list because I've heard a bunch of people talk about it. So there's 2 kinds of objects in HyperCard. There's buttons and there's fields. And they have different uses. So like the moving stars in the intro cutscene, those are actually buttons because you can actually move buttons. You can do other things and be really fancy. HyperCard is super, super deep, but I haven't looked at that. But to make like text that shows without having a bunch of cards. So we could have had each one of these on a separate card, but instead, especially because I'm like doing time tracking, it's just easier to have it as a field. So we have saving 6 other recruits at the risk of their own life. Members of the medical squad will be awarded commendation badges and additional pay. The Karashi themselves was said to have stated, if we... So the Karashi, oh gosh. I'll have to look at the... I don't know if that's actually the right... Well, that'll be worth looking up later. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but it is now, apparently. The Karashi themselves was said to have stated, if we... So it's this, like, just little snippet of these, like, news reports. So Blackbeard X. Last day, this incredible squadron looked death in the face and knew exactly how to pull the trigger. Every recruit should look up to these pilots, knowing in their hearts that they... Oh my gosh. No, there is so much lore that does not show on the page. And we have all eyes on deck. So Quoron is the commander of the I think is the commander of the base. So Quoron QABBOAF reminds us, everyone knows it's only been 4 years since the debacle at Jornahan, and it's on each and every one of us to make sure we look out for our fellow recruit. New SOPs. So we have the top news. We still have one more day. Figuring out this timing. I wonder if there's a way for me to like check to see if other things were read, and maybe I can like put it in this saved messages. So I have the same ones. Wake up soon. It's you 8:30. Your second shift comes too fast, too soon. You didn't do your routines. Your arm chirps a low battery warning. After a quiet grumble that you'll be plugged in all day, you report in. Making it early, but the Datha and a pilot are already loudly arguing. The Epihi is lucky they're not written up. It's another XE. So X is for pilot, E is for Epihi, which is a rank. I believe it's under Datha. But again, it's not supposed to be like cogent. The Datha throws up their hands and walk away. What? Leaving me one of your interns, 529? So this is one of the ones that used the song specifically. This is From the Stars to Kite and Viero by Rabbit Junk. Which is like... Oh, yeah. We'll get you soon enough. It's fine. No. I'm kidding. It was really funny. So like last semester I had a bunch of students who were like real chatty and we had fun. And one of the students was like, we had some discussion in another class about how like men are awful, and I'm just like, yeah, that's why some of us aren't one anymore. And like it was mostly women in the class, and it's like one of the few guys was just like, come on, dude. What the fuck? It's like, fair. I'm joking, I swear. Look, I'll even use small enough words for you, Greaser. I've got 2 ships. They both need an entire electrical overhaul. It was unlike anything either of us had even experienced. Our sense of body was barely perceptible. It got into our heads. You realize the Peehee's eyes are constantly twitching in different directions. I saw an intricate network of veins. Have you ever heard the dissonant tone of a vitals monitor about to signal the end? Their nostrils flare. Yes, you have. Oh, mine are they, them. But thank you for asking. I should put that in here. It gets messy when my co-host is here, because she's there's 2 people here. So I don't put it anywhere. But yeah, thanks for asking. It is they them. You squeeze your new hand into a fist. So again, like, one of the things that I wish I engaged with on a more deep level is this theme of, like, actually you have a prosthetic limb because of you crashing. And it's one of those things that, like, maybe I should engage with more, but I also am maybe leaning on that, like, 80s sci-fi vibe of, oh, well, you know, it's just like a thing that happens. I don't know. I was kind of, like, negative about that in a game that I played on stream. With specifically with regard to gender stuff. But I don't know. I'm giving myself a pass. I'm not getting paid for this. Their nostrils flare. Their eyes focus back on you. So, I need new electrical for me and for my squad mate. Understood, recruit? As you key in the order, you can feel the Apihi's gaze burning into you. So I did, like, as an affordance to the user, electrical is on one side, physical is on the other. It's not really, like, aligned. Like, I talk about shields because I wrote it before I set this up, whatever. But I talk about shields and things like that. That's just part of the energy core. I don't know. But we have 2. So we need 2 energy cores, 2 life supports, 2 sensor arrays. I don't know if we need 2 hard lights, but it's all electric. And you can always ask the Datha. I'm just not, because it's my game and I should be able to do this, like, at least I should be able to do it without the built-in hints. If no one else can, that's why I have the Ask the Datha. One stupid thing, I love this bottom design element, just that it's screwed in. It took me so long, and it's so silly. Before you can finish, the Datha sharpens up their voice. Zoot on deck! Even the Apihi snaps to attention. Okay, no, so Zoot is the base commander. The Quaron is below. Now I remember. Quaron comes from Colonel, actually. Comes from Cornell, which was with a Q, which was the Spanish commander of cavalry. All of these ranks actually come from military terms. I'm not a military buff in any way, and I hope that comes through with this. Yeah. The commandant of the base wastes no time to break the tension. At ease, please. I'm not exactly on official business. I've rather decided to take my personal craft out of mothballs. The Datha shifts uncomfortably at what could have set this off. Of course, I tried to start it up, but it just wasn't going to turn over. Sometimes you ought to go to a real mechanic. And well, I heard that there was a pilot stuck down here in the grease trap. Remember, recruit, once a pilot, always a pilot. Hi, Zoot. You smile. Should you smile? Too late now. Oh my gosh. Stop smiling. You're a pilot. We're a pilot. What seems to be the problem, recruit? Oh, shoot. So if you hit recruit, one of the things that I wanted to do in this was like mess a little bit with things. So like if you hit recruit, it talks about the fact that like the recruits are like everybody calls everybody recruit. So like even though your actual rank is recruit and their actual rank is Zoot, you both would, even in formal settings, call each other recruit. Well, first off, it's stuffy as all get out in there. It smells like something died in the air vents. I'd run a diagnostic, but the computer just won't turn on. Oh, I did. Is it too loud? I can always crank it down. I just saw that it was too quiet before. And you know, I'm sure that there's a reason why I can't manually move either of the arms on the dang thing. Anyway, when you get a chance, fix her up. You do your best to translate the Zoot's slightly out-of-date wording to the textbook learning you did over the last month. Time to impress. So I do like, as I'm like, I actually don't remember what he just said. Alright, so dang thing won't move. Hydraulics. Something died in the vents. I'm gonna say that's life support. And then, dang thing won't turn on. Let's do energy core and, why not sensor array just for funsies. So like, in this version, you have way more than enough. Which I'm bummed that I couldn't implement that part of it. The second half of this is a lot faster paced with all of these. So like 8 for everything is not enough to successfully complete every single one that I have planned. And that's part of, so like, characters come back in the back half, and they have done different things based on whether or not you could get their ship out, their craft out. So even the sort of romantic interest, like, you can mess that up and like they don't go out and do things in the plot because their ship's still grounded. Same thing with the Zoot. Like, It's planned. I did like spreadsheets and things to be like, how does this work exactly? What does this do? Time to impress. So you send the order. I'm sure you did a great job, recruit. The Zoop beams at you. After a hasty salute, they turn out the door. The Dotha chuckles to himself. Busy day. Good day. I'll close up tonight. Looks like you had to stay late yesterday. You pack up your work table and shut down the monitor. You look forward to a relaxing night alone. No such luck. They're harried. Their lips are flaking from being chewed on. Can we talk? One of the things that I both like and don't like about how I did this is that there's no telling in this section what is going to get you a different, what's going to get you a different, like, page, a different card in the language of HyperCard, but, or just like a little pop-up. I like it because sometimes you accidentally click something. Oh, yeah. I play a lot of microcomputer text adventures. I say a lot. I play a lot more than the average person. And actually, we'll see. Oh gosh. Yeah, nope. That gets into inscrutable territory. I enjoy watching other people do that. If you enjoy watching other people do that, a person who has no shame playing absolutely inscrutable things, is Bilbo. He is. You want inscrutable games played lovingly? That's Bilbo. If you want just I love Bilbo. I love his love of games. So here's a choice that, like, I wish I made clearer. It was also 2 a.m, and I have no shame in being like, it was 2 a.m. Yeah. I just shouted him out. You can follow him from there. Bilbo is a good time. Anyway, all of that saying, like, it's not clear. I think in the language that I set up, you would think that maybe, like, the no would not would be just a pop-up because it's not like the last thing. But no, this is actually a choice. The no is an answer to can we talk, and talk is an answer to can we talk. I want to be nice. We can talk. You both walk down to the canteen. Neutral ground. Safe ground. I thought you said enough 68 days ago. And then that's where the sort of cutoff is. What's the word I'm looking for? Cliffhanger is. And maybe I should have made that longer, but whatever. No, it's let me go back to, oh no, if you go to thank. Hey, it works. That's Jake Bug, seen it all. So, like, the sound, I might have said this before, but the sound I transcribed using an automated program because I have a tin ear. Even though I went to college for music, it's a real problem. Anyway, so I used a program to help me transcribe it, and then I put it into HyperCard's system, HyperCard's code. So if we go back to the title, I can actually show that off. So we go to card info and script. I believe this one was a very simple one. But yeah, if you look at this, like, see, I wish I'd like, because I used to make music a lot, and I hit a point where like I just lost my desire to make music. Not listen. I listen to music all the time, but to make it, it's kind of like, I don't know what I'm saying here. So I make games now, and write and do other things. Yeah, definitely did get the yips. But yeah, this is how the music's coded in here. It's just like set up the tempo, which doesn't quite work the way you think it does, but that's fine. Tempo and all this stuff. So that's pretty fun. And then you can always rewatch the opening cutscene. I'm pretty proud of this opening cutscene. I might tighten it up a bit. Because it's definitely, it's certainly something. But one of the things that I've really struggled with HyperCard is setting the initial state of things. So like you might see some of the inventory fields like blink and like things open up in different places. This going so slowly is a emulation error, not a me error. I've tested it in other emulators, and it actually affects the audio here. Basilisk is what I use, but in Mini VMAC it actually works fine. So yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna vibe with it. And like you can do a lot. And the whole point of this was to like create in something that is difficult to play in. Like you have to use an emulator. There's not a way to do it otherwise. There are certain ways to use it. There's like a couple of different players online for HyperCard stuff. They're all still this is no offense to anyone. They're all still a bit jank when it comes to like what you could do in a HyperCard. HyperCard is so effing cool. And like I want to hacked, protected. I don't know what that is. I want to get more into HyperCard stuff, and if I can find something that really is a good emulator for it and like makes me feel good about like putting it up on the screen, I will do more stuff because I think it's a really, really cool system. Anyway. That's 3 hours and 51 minutes. We got through all the rest of the games from ShuffleComp. Again, if you want to play all the games are worth playing. That's ShuffleComp. There's still 2 more days on rating if you want to rate as part of the thing, as part of the competition. If not, you can always rate them on itch just as part of itch. If you want to play other things that are weird, I've made 3 small games now. I made this game that you just saw. I made a ZZT game based what? I don't even know what that means. Based on automatic concrete poetry, basically that like instead of the ASCII graphics that are common in ZZT, you have words and poetry and stuff. And I also re-implemented a BBC micro game, Witchwood, originally by Larsoft, in the modern program, the modern text adventure language Inform. I did it. You can check out on YouTube to see the process of me making it, and far longer than it needed to be because I didn't know what I was doing. And was just kind of learning as I was going. I might actually do more code streams. I really want to do some type-in games on, hopefully microcomputer is what I want to do. But I need to not code games for a little bit. But you can check them out there. And then one last call out. If you enjoy what we're doing here, and I know my illustrious co-host has not been around as much, really because I'm like, let me just stream on a random Saturday instead of planning. But if you like what we do here, you can, it's more donation-ware. And by that I mean, please give your dollars to a charity and not Jeff Bezos. And our charity for the foreseeable future is House of Kodak. They create a safer and more accessible means to housing, care, and essential services for displaced, transition-aged youth in Rhode Island. So they do good work. And if you don't know where to put money, you can always put your money there. That's it. We're done. We got through everything. I'm really, really excited that we did. I'm really, really excited to check out all of these games and rate all of them. Who we got? Hit this tab. Twitch.tv/retro, not RetroPals. Who is on? No one is on. It is a quiet day. I don't want to necessarily drop us nowhere. Let's do. You know what? We're gonna. Sorry for that. We're gonna raid into something I'm gonna chill and watch. We're gonna raid into Daikai TV. This is Daikaiju movies. What time is it? It is 5 p.m. So they currently have the 1977 movie The Last Dinosaur on. And it will go to the 1978 movie The Bermuda Depths in a little bit. Oh, this might be King Kong Escapes. I don't know. Who cares? It's weird movies. And I hope you have a good weekend. Stay safe, stay warm, all that fun stuff. Thanks so much. See ya.